Welcome, welcome, all my little snarky love bugs. We've got a fun podcast. We've got a lot to talk about. There's 3 mini dear snarkies because I heard from some people in the comments they enjoy the mini dear snarky. So I will give you more mini dear snarkies. Then in my peeve, I have 3 things. If I hear you say these to anyone or if you say them directly to me, you're dead to me. You're dead to me. And then in the observation, it concerns bridesmaids. Apparently, brides and bridesmaids, the relationship is a changing. Let's look into that. And my confession from the Snarky Confessional involves when I staged a middle school protest. That was my first attempt, people, at community organizing. It's fun. It's funny. And lots of good stuff. Lots of good stuff. Lots of things for us to dive deep on. So we're not going to waste any more time. We are going to start with the mini dear snarkies. The first one concerns everyone's favorite, right? A deathbed confession. So this woman reaches out to me and she said her uncle was dying. I mean, gasping, taking last breaths or whatever. She said he was chock full of morphine. And she was sitting with her uncle while her aunt, the wife of said uncle, and the daughter, stepped out for a minute. And when they stepped out, she said her uncle made a deathbed confession that he was in love with another woman and kept on asking for her. And so she doesn't know what to do with this. You know what you do with it? Nothing. You keep that deathbed confession to yourself. I mean, I can't even believe the ignorance. One, chock full of morphine, probably doesn't even know what he's saying. God knows what other drugs he has. He is passing away. What do you think you're going to do with that? You chalk it up to the ramblings, drug-induced ramblings of a person who is dying, and you shut up. I'm telling you right now, the person that wrote me about the deathbed confession, what do? What, you're going to go tell the grieving widow? Oh, by the way, deathbed confession, your husband said he never really loved you. You were not the love of his life. Come on. And I wish I had superpowers, because this is what I would do. If I had superpowers, I would say laser focused on you, like one part of my mind. And if I ever found out that you said anything to the grieving widow about her husband's deathbed confession, I'd hunt you down and we'd have a talk. Let's just brand it as a talk. Absolutely horrible. I can't believe you took the time to write me a letter that you didn't know the correct answer to that is do nothing. And people that work in the medical community, please weigh in and just say, no, you hear stuff all the time and you keep it to yourself. Good God. Good God. I don't get it. I mean, can you imagine going up to a grieving widow and saying, hey, yeah, when you walked out of the room with your daughter, this is what your husband said. No, who are you that you would even think of doing that? Yikes. Okay, calm down, deep breath. Feeling better. Okay, my next is from parents that are really ticked off. They gave their daughter money for her wedding, okay? You know, food, whatever, dress, gave her money. She just wanted the money, and then she was going to invite the mom to go dress shopping with her, and the parents were still going to help plan stuff because, that was fun for them. Only daughter, they were so looking forward to it. So they give their daughter the money. She takes off and elopes on the beach. They didn't say what beach, but out of a country beach, and gets married. And takes the money to fund what sounds like an absolutely fabulous vacation / honeymoon / wedding. Talk about multitasking with the dollars your parents gave you. They're furious. They can't believe their daughter did that. They said it was deception. She straight up lied to them because she knew it was wedding money. And of course, they're blaming the groom because, why not? Do you want to blame your daughter? No. Let's blame the groom. And my advice to the parents is stop it. Just stop it. Maybe she should have told you that was, if for me, I'd want my child to go, thank you for the money. I'm going to elope with my husband. We're getting married on this beach. Maybe I'll save some so when we come back, you can throw us a party. Or, we can throw ourselves a party. I can understand 100% being very disappointed and thinking that your daughter deceived you. She certainly did not tell you her plans or the whole story. I'll give you that. But I don't know if it's worth blowing up your relationship with your adult child. Was she happy? Was it a great wedding? Is she happily married? It's I'm sure they had a blast. But you just gave her the money. So once you relinquish that money, I don't think you had a lot of control over it. And maybe the reason she didn't tell you is this is how she wanted to get married, but she knew you would be so upset that she veered from the traditional norms that she never would have been able to do it. So she just took it and ran with it. Instead of pouting and, threatening no contact, sit down and talk to your daughter. Just sit down, ask to see the wedding photos. It's not like, don't let it drive you apart. Work on the relationship. I'm sure she's got great wedding photos. Do that. Do that. I know it's easy for me to say it didn't happen to me. If my daughter did that, I would be disappointed, I guess. But if she was happy and had a great wedding, then okay. I'd be like, you're an adult. We gave you that money. And I probably would want to throw a party, if she wanted one. But maybe that's not her thing. I think that's why she didn't tell you. That's not her thing. And you wanted her to take the money and do exactly how you would have thrown a wedding with that money. So think about that. Okay, this one. Oh, I so relate to this. Wouldn't do it, but I would so relate. So this mother put a tracking on her daughter, like a little tracking device. She said as soon as she got a phone, she was tracking her daughter. So her daughter's now 28 and she's still tracking her. But the issue is that like when the daughter graduated college, she goes, Mom, can you quit tracking me? Because I'm a grown woman now. I have friends that we share locations with. And I tell them if I'm like going, they can't find me, blah, blah, blah. She's now indeed married, okay? And she didn't want her mom tracking her. Well, she found out, and it was not disclosed in the letter, but she found out that her mom never turned off the tracker or phone thing that tracks you. Find my phone, whatever. Snapchat, I know you can track people. And never turned that off. And lied to her daughter and said that she had, and now her daughter has found out, and she's furious. And the mom's like, I was just concerned for her safety. And I'm going to tell the mom, once your daughter says, quit tracking me, you should have quit tracking her. And dear God, once she got married and she's probably sharing everything with her husband, including the location, there is no reason for you to track her anymore. And you know that. And the only reason you were tracking her is maybe, let's say 50% for her safety. But I think you were nosy. You wanted to know like what she was doing. How late was she out at night? Why isn't she back at her apartment or whatever? So you were doing it for other reasons besides safety. Okay, you were tracking her because you just had to know what your daughter was doing, which is wrong. And this is one of those instances where I'm going to tell you as a parent, you have to beg for your child's forgiveness and say, I'm wrong. I'm just freaked out, for your safety. But also I just worried about you all the time. So it was 1 a.m. I just go on that tracker to see where you were at. I mean, you have to beg forgiveness. There is no other way out of it. There is no way to justify it. She told you not to track her. She's married. You overstepped. So that's just, a get on your knees and beg for forgiveness. I'm not going to make any excuses for you. It's tempting to track your kids forever, but at some point, you got to turn that tracker off. That has to be a mutual agreement. Like my daughter, my husband has her tracking. She wants to be tracked, for safety reasons. I don't have any of that information. She does track us, so she always knows where I am. And you know what? I like it. I don't have a problem with that. Because my life is exciting and she should know what her mother's doing. Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm usually at the grocery store, Pilates, nothing really exciting. Trader Joe's, boring. But I think maybe my daughter finds some relaxation, some contentment in the fact that her mother is still going to all the same places and still remains incredibly boring. I think that's comforting for her. So you know what? I am good with that. Okay, let's move on to the Peeve. Again, can't sing, kicked out of choir. We all know that. It was a confession. But I'm still going to sing. I will not be silenced. My vocal cords must continue with the gift of song. Okay, there are 3 things. I hate these 3 sayings, and if I hear them or they're said to me, or I hear them said to anybody, dead to me. Okay, number 1, this is in no order. This would probably be number 3. This is number 3. We'll go 3, 2, 1. 1 being the worst. This is number 3. Give them grace. I used to say that. Like I used to say that in Dear Snarky letters. Well, maybe we need to give them grace. Now I hate it and I don't want to hear it. Because what's happened and I believe I've talked about this before. Let's take a quick pause. If you don't like people repeating themselves, you're in the wrong place. Don't be listening to this podcast. I'm going to repeat myself, okay? I know I've talked about this before, but I'm going to talk about it again. Okay, so done with that. So let's go back to the comments. So people in the comments will say, give them grace. Just yesterday, someone said, I think it was my podcast. This woman wanted to know if she should put her mother on pause. And then someone responds, not even listening to the podcast, because it was just one of my things where I go, I got a new podcast out, listen. She's like, maybe the daughter needs to give her mother grace. I'm like, this mother's like borderline evil, so she doesn't need to give her grace. But I'm so sick of give them grace. And I think it's just a lame saying for people to excuse the bad behavior of other people so they don't have to do anything about it. I think it's like at a family gathering. Again, repeat, where the jerks win. The family member that is the biggest problem, the problematic family member that will and has the power to ruin Christmas, Thanksgiving, christenings, you name it, you give in to the jerk. Because you know what you're giving that jerk? We're just going to give her grace, okay? Or we're going to give him grace. No, you're just going to allow that behavior because it's easier than doing anything about it, or you're always walking tiptoes on eggshells to not set this person off. But this is the person we should all kowtow to. I don't like it, so when someone says give them grace, dead to me. Dead. Okay, coming in at number 2. God does not give you anything you can't handle. Stop it right there. Stop it. I was standing next to a person that told a mother whose child had passed away, God doesn't give you anything you can't handle. Oh my goodness. That is not comforting in the least. Do not say that. Someone that is grieving does not want to hear that. Because if someone said that to me, I'd be like, oh, well, why am I so lucky and loved by God that he gave this to me? Like, why does this schmo, okay, this bad person, why doesn't God give them anything to handle? So I guess I have it all. It is horrible. It does not need to be said. You can come for me and you can argue this point with me, but I'm going to stand by that it is not comforting to someone who's grieving to hear that, okay? No, not at all. It's not a compliment. Well, God loves you so much and you're so strong that God knew you can handle that. No, it's not comforting. Do not go there. That's all I'm saying. It's bad. And if you say it, what are you? In unison, everyone. Dead to me. Good job. I like the projection. Okay, and then coming in at number 1, the worst. Everything happens for a reason. Again, you tell a grieving parent that has lost a precious child, everything happens for a reason. You tell someone that has lost their parents, everything happens for a reason. You tell somebody that has had a horrific loss, everything happens for a reason. In what way is that comforting? Is that making that person feel better? It is not. It is not. People do not want to hear that. I'm talking even when maybe you got fired and you're wondering how you're going to pay the mortgage and feed your kids and put gas in your car, and some numbnut says to you, everything happens for a reason. Maybe everything doesn't happen for a reason, because we all know life is unfair. Bad things happen to good people. And you know what good people don't want to hear? They don't want to hear everything happens for a reason, and God doesn't give you anything you can't handle. They don't want to hear that. And then the cherry on top is, let's give the person who said that to a grieving individual, well, let's give them grace. No. So I hate those 3 sayings, and they need to be thrown out. That needs to be no, you don't say that. That's very, very bad. Don't say it. And I kind of want to think, have these people not experienced profound loss or grief that you would say, especially God doesn't give you anything you can't handle and everything happens for a reason? Have they been lucky enough not to have any profound grief or loss in their lives? Because I can't imagine experiencing that and ever saying that to someone. And, oh gosh, last year I called someone out on it. I mean, I was at a funeral and they said that. And then I called them over. I go, don't ever say that. I go, don't. I didn't know that person, but it felt good to tell him that. As a public service, people, I did not give them grace. All right, now, y'all, I love this observation. Sorry, I got to scratch real quick if you're watching. Kind of itchy. Okay, so wedding planners have come out, and I've seen it on the social media, darling, the TikToks and the Instagram, that brides now, not all brides, maybe a micro trend, are not having bridesmaids. And some wedding planners were hypothesizing that, because brides don't want to ask this of their friends. It's a big ask, and that whole bridal party thing, and those stupid, like, you go away for a week now with your girlfriends for your bachelorette party. An overnight should be enough. Okay, I'm just saying, no one wants to spend that much time or money on you, bride. So they're not having bridesmaids. So I have another take on it. Because they were being like, brides are getting kinder, and they realize, like, how expensive it is. No, I want to go to Mean Sherry. And quite frankly, it's my favorite. I think that brides are having problems getting friends to be bridesmaids because women are sick of it. I don't want to pay for your stupid bachelorette party that I don't even want to go to. I don't want to pay $500 for my bridesmaid's dress. I don't have to chip in for hair and makeup. I don't want to buy the bride like 5 or 6 presents, nor do I want to be bossed around and have all my paid time off taken from a wedding. So I think we need to consider that brides are having problems finding women that want to be bridesmaids because they're over it. I'd be over it. 100%. It's ridiculous. So like the tide's turning because brides are getting so much nicer. No, the tide's turning because women have stood up and said, no, I do not want to be a bridesmaid. I can't afford it. I don't really even like you that much. You're going to take advantage of me and no gratitude will be shown. That's Mean Sherry. Total overreaction, I understand. But it's still something that I believe we all need to think about. It's out of control. The expense alone, I mean, it's so much. It's so much. Like that bachelorette party, yeah, I know I've droned on about the bachelorette party, but I do not understand how something went from going out to a bar, getting a little crazy, and then going home. How that went to 3-day trip, now a week trip. I don't like anybody enough to spend a week with them unless I'm married to him or I birthed him. And there will be times during that week trip that I don't like them at all. So no, that's too much. And it's like, travel's outrageously expensive. Airfare, hotels, no. And women just don't want to do it. And for the women that are standing up and saying, no, oh, I'm sorry, thank you for asking, but I just can't schedule in my monetary desires just aren't going to fit in with that. Yeah, bravo. Double hand clap. Yay, yay. Because that's what needs to happen. Because big bridal, which is what I call the bridal industry, is out of control. And every year I'm like, oh, well, this year it's going to get better. Like, it's not going to be as crazy. And every year, just the craziness gets upped, and up. So I'm glad this is happening. I hope it is a trend. I hope it's just not a teeny tiny micro trend. I hope it is a trend. And for the women that have said no to being bridesmaids, thank you for being smart and for standing up for yourself. Yeah, it's not good. And I'm glad this is happening. I'm very glad. I mean, I think I'll get less snarky letters because there won't be like, angry, bitter, sad, taking advantage of bridesmaids to write me. But, there it is. Groomsmen, what do the groomsmen do? Do they even go anywhere? The groomsmen have the experience the bridesmaids used to have, like maybe a night out drinking and then that's it, show up in a tux. We need to get back to simplifying the wedding process. We need to get back to women not wanting to be princesses, for God's sakes. Who wants to be a princess? A princess sounds like horrible. Even the Disney princesses, their lives were rough, people. They were rough. So I don't really know anyone that should want to be a princess. Modern day princesses, doesn't look that great either. I mean, love me some Kate Middleton, but her life seems like day in and day out, I think her life is boring. She's got to go to all those openings and grocery store openings and this and that. She does a great job at it. She looks like so engaged and so into it. But yuck. Okay? I mean, that's not, I guess that is princessy. But yeah, it's just, it's overrated, people. So who wants to have, I want to be a princess for a day? No, you don't. No, you want to be a grown woman, okay, for a day, that's kind and that's logical and that has good impulse control and can get married without being a huge bridezilla. That's what you want to be. Okay, another deep breath. That was a lot. I'm very passionate about that because I've gotten so many letters from women that have been like treated like crap and taken advantage of. As a mama, I don't like to see that. Okay, now we're going to move into my confession. Wait, I have to get a sip of my iced tea. Hang on. All right, no Diet Coke. Didn't have time to run and get one. But I've already had one today. But gosh, I like that afternoon McDonald's Diet Coke pick-me-up. I had no time. Okay. My confession from the Snarky Confessional is that in middle school, people, I was a badass. I was a community organizer. Okay, this is my story. As many of you know, I have no coordination. I'm very uncoordinated. I have no athletic talent whatsoever. The fact that I'm walking upright and not falling down, huge. I mean, no coordination. So join me as we travel back in time, to the 1970s when I was in junior high. And there was this thing called the President's Council on Physical Fitness. And you would go to PE with your sadistic PE teacher, and there would be like a list of things you had to do. Softball throw, sit-ups, mile run. I mean, I think you even had to climb a rope, which is like, no thank you. But then they would take how everyone did and put it on huge pieces of poster board and post those in the foyer of your middle school. So everyone, like alphabetically, how they did. It was the worst. It was absolutely the worst. No, not alphabetically. They did best to worst. So where do you think I landed on the best to worst list of any athletic endeavors? Did you guess at the bottom? Good, because you are correct. Let me tell you, there was no privacy back in the 70s. They post your grades. Everyone knew your grades. Everyone knew that you couldn't throw a softball or you flunked out of the mile run. Nothing was private. It was all posted. So I don't know who enjoyed making those huge poster boards of, and drawing the lines and writing the names and the scores, but whoever you are, you hurt children, okay? You were responsible for some mental damage in middle school. Okay, so anyways, it's just stupid President's Council on Physical Fitness. That was taken very seriously in the 70s, let me assure you. And there were the mile run. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I was young. I was fabulous. I wasn't running a mile, okay? All right? No janky knee. I can't blame that on a janky knee that I have now. I just wasn't going to do it. It was a walk run, people. More like a walk, light jog. It was bad. And then the PE teacher would just be yelling at you and shouting out your times and just yelling at you. I'm just the worst. Then there was the softball throw. And I kid you not, the softball throw was in the President's Council on Physical Fitness. I'm not kidding here. Okay, I'm not being funny. It was to show how far you could throw a grenade. That's why they put it in there, because it was during the Vietnam War. So who was good at throwing. I'm not good at throwing. Just ask my dog. He's that's the best you got, sister? No, not good at that. So that was a huge fail. Then sit-ups. You had to do 100 sit-ups in 1 minute. Let's talk about these sit-ups. It's not the sit-ups of today, okay? Where you've got knees and stuff. Your legs aren't straight. You're just doing the crunches. Today we do crunches. We don't do real sit-ups. I was demonstrating for people watching. Sorry you had to see that. So yeah, 100 sit-ups in 1 minute. Am I the bionic woman in 1970? No. Also another thing I couldn't do. Basically, I was pathetic. So then the sadistic PE teachers would just make you do it until you reached a certain level of competency. You had to keep on doing it. So it was torture. So then I decided, Sherry, community organizer, I said, I'm not doing this anymore. This is BS. I protested. So Yeah, it really was my first effort at community organizing. So what I did, and usually the kids that were horrible at everything, they were the drama kids, the speech kids. So, me. You're thinking, Sherry, drama. Were you on the stage? I was on that middle school stage. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Love it. So, like for the mile, I'm like, here's what we're going to do. We're just going to do a silly walk. Like Monty Python was big. We're doing the Monty Python silly walk. We just walked silly for the mile just to infuriate the PE teacher. I mean, he was just screaming at us. Also, he was the algebra teacher. So, just screaming at us like so mad. But we're like, we're doing it. We're moving. Hated it. And then the kids that were actually athletically talented thought it looked like fun. So they would join us and do it too. So I'm like, this is most excellent. I'm a happy girl. Then, for the sit-ups, there's no way we're doing 100 sit-ups. So we would just like do a roll sit-up, like literally roll. Like, how you do like you're rolling down we used to roll down hills. Yeah, we would just like modify everything. Softball throw, we made it into a dance move. Not that any of us could do the dance move, but kind of a step ball chain and then throw the ball by singing Broadway show tunes. I mean, there were 2 PE teachers, both men, and I think their level of anger at us was probably off the charts. Like, they probably, looking back in their lives, were like, that is the angriest I've ever been in my life. They couldn't do anything to us because we were doing it. We might not have been doing it like they wanted us, but we were doing it. And then finally they gave up. They're like, you're done. I'm just writing down what you have. You're going to be at the bottom of the poster board. And I'm like, well, who cares, okay? Who cares? It's still traumatizing, though. The lack of privacy, people. So, yeah, I was at the bottom. Did I care? But everyone followed me. Once I started, I had my core group of, like, your thespians and your debaters. And this is what we're going to do. And we started it, and everybody else joined in. So I single-handedly, I think, tanked the President's Council on Physical Fitness in my school. I'm very proud of myself. I don't think it went away till, like, the 80s. Like, it finally, like, slowly went away. But it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. If you want to talk about self-esteem issues, privacy issues, I can't get over that, how everything was posted personally about you. Also, they would weigh you. They would weigh you in PE, and they would just, you line up. Everyone's getting weighed on one of those stupid scales, and they would just shout the weight out. I mean, just shout it out. Everyone knew how much everyone weighed. It was not good. That's private medical information, but they didn't have HIPAA back then. It's just like, and then in the PE, okay, the gym, okay, review, the President's Council of Physical Fitness poster boards went in the foyer of the school. What you weighed, they posted it on a wall in the gym. Oh my gosh, the agony, the inhumanity. I'm serious. I'm surprised most of it, I'm okay. All right. I mean, can you imagine doing that today? The parents would storm the school. Okay. Not cool, people. Not cool. So that's my little story about my attempt at community organizing, which went fabulously. And I'm glad, everyone has an Apple Watch. So I guess people are always testing themselves on Apple Watch, which is good. You're setting limits, you're setting goals, but you know what? It's not being posted at your place of work. Okay, that you didn't exercise that day. Your weight's not being posted. So, yeah. You should be held, I think we can personally hold ourselves accountable. But I don't think, a sensitive 13-year-old middle school girl should have to, have that stuff flash to the whole student body. And when I said sensitive, I was not talking about me, like another girl. You're not the youngest of 4 with 2 brothers, and there's no room for sensitivity. No, it's Lord of the Flies, people. Lord of the Flies. You get tough. You get tough with brothers. Also, I think if you had a bunch of sisters, you would get tough. Because, sisters are hard too. I can totally understand that. Anyways, that's my confession from the Snarky Confessional. And now you know a lot about me. You know that I was very unpopular in middle school. Truth. I've never been popular, and I'm okay with that. It was not meant to be, nor do I have the personality to be popular. So, I think middle school was probably my apex of being unpopular. Totally unpopular through the whole K through 12 experience, but middle school, definitely my apex. Okay, guys, let's now go to the Summer Snarky book series. I'm repeating books now, and I don't care, okay? Because I only have 5, and I've done 5, but I'm doing it. Okay, for those of you who miss me yak about trouble in Texas, I like this book, and it's perfect for August, because this book is based in August. It happened in Texas. Okay, it's fiction, so it didn't actually happen, okay? It's like, in my imagination, I'm in Texas. So, it's hot as hell. This mom is taking her 2 kids to visit grandma and grandpa in Texas before school starts. And this woman's mom she's crazy, but in all the good ways. And she enlists her daughter's help to get some revenge, to set some things right for people. And her daughter's like, what are you doing? Why are you dragging me into this? I don't want to do this. But the mother knows exactly what she's doing because you know what? Her daughter thrives on scenarios like that. It's super fun. You'll love the mom and dad. I think you'll love the main character who just lets her mom kind of, push her around because she's just like, whatever. Okay, mom. Okay. You know those people that it's easier to say yes than no to, especially if it's your mom. You know your mom's crazy, but you're like, okay, mom. Okay. I'll do it. But it's so much fun, and it's got like so many different subplots. Let's discuss what it has, people. Killer mold. Okay. Amorous goats, a society takedown, like stuff happens, and best friends from high school that did you wrong. A reunification of that, and women that are junior league dropouts. The main character's mother in the book opened up a cupcake shop, which is right next to the junior league headquarters. And then when women would get bounced for not paying their dues or assorted other reasons, she would provide solace for them at her cupcake shop, and then eventually would hire them because sometimes they needed jobs, and lots of tea there. So please go check it out. In the show description, it has a link to all my books. Click that. You'll be delighted. You'll be so glad you did. And to everyone that has bought my books, oh my gosh, thank you so much. The middle school loser in me is thrilled that you're buying my books and you're reading them and you tell me you like them. Another thing I need you to do, y'all, this is really important to me. I had like a 5-star rating on Apple, and suddenly it dropped to 4.9. Why? Who gives me 4 stars? Or maybe they gave me 2 or even 1. Someone go give me more do a 5-star review so we get it up there. It's hurtful, people. It's hurtful, like having to run the mile in middle school. It's that hurtful. Okay? It's hurtful. It's like seeing my name as the least coordinated person on poster board in the school lobby. It's that hurtful. Okay, I'm kidding. But please, if you have time and you can do that, well, I think you have to be on Apple. Most appreciative. Very much appreciate that. Okay, go out, have a great day because you deserve it. And you know why this day is going to be great? Because you never have to do a President's Council on Physical Fitness. So that makes this day already a winner. Thanks. Thank you so much for listening. See you soon.